Darryl Ormerod and I'm the General Manager at the University of Cumbria Students' Union.
Can you tell us about your role within the Student Union?
I'm the General Manager, which means I'm the lead member of staff. I report directly to the board, the trustee board and the executive committee, both of which are led by students. My job is to deliver the union strategy and objectives, and I employ a number of staff to help the union achieve those objectives.
What do you really enjoy about your job with the Student Union?
What I love about working for the Students' Union is the annual cycle of renewal. So every year my boss changes, and every year there's new energy that comes into the Students' Union.
What's been the hardest thing you've had to deal with this year so far?
We're still early days. We've only had a couple of weeks of term. We've actually just here in Lancaster we've moved into new premises, and that in itself has given us a higher turnover of people past our front door, and so we're noticeably busier.
Going forward, what are the greatest challenges you face next year?
Our challenge as a Students' Union, as ever, is to be relevant and valuable to our members, so that they can see us as an organisation that's delivering value to them. The change in fees doesn't necessarily change our challenges. It will make us honest. It will keep us honest, because students will expect more from us. So our challenge in that respect is to communicate our successes better, so that students can perceive the difference we make in a way that they weren't previously able to.
My name is Danny Prescott. I'm the Representation and Connections Department Manager for the Students' Union. My role is largely involved with helping the student elected officers in terms of doing their jobs.
Is every day different for you?
My job has elements of seasonality. So say for the elections, for example, that's a big process, happens at the same time every year. But also in terms of things like helping the officers do their job, depends what they're doing and what kind of support they require. We also tend to be in the representation department a bit more proactive in getting involved in the issues that students bring into the union. So again, that can depend on a whole variety of things, whether it's a campaigning outcome or a lobbying outcome.
What's it been like working for the SU?
Well, I've worked here quite a long time. I started off as a receptionist in 1998. So I've kind of stayed within the organisation largely because it's a really dynamic and interesting place to work. You know, my boss is the student membership. They change every year, so the priorities that we work to kind of evolve. Also, the union itself has been on a bit of a journey over the last 4 years, which has seen our effectiveness and our profile and our ambition kind of really expand. And that certainly gives a lot of job satisfaction, certainly compared to some other jobs that I've had. It's just a really interesting and fun place to work.
What's the greatest challenge you have encountered this year so far?
Because of the way in which we work, we're anticipating that over the next few weeks, as students experience difficulties with timetabling, with the capacity that the university has to fit people into places, we'll begin to get issues fed back into us.
Going forward, what's the biggest challenge you face in the next year?
In April we raised something called the Top 10, which was 10 issues that we put to the university saying you can't charge that much money unless you sort out these issues. And so they still hold true, quite a lot of them. So things like timetabling, ICT equipment, placements, some of the placement experiences some students are really not very good at all. And the issue that I'm most interested in is how students who are the primary funders of their educational experience, how do they have any form of rights as primary funders in terms of they don't feel that they're getting their value for money out of their education, and what kind of procedures are there in place within the university to try and settle any disputes.
My name's Emma. I'm the Volunteering Support and Development Manager based in the Students' Union. Basically that means I run the volunteering team.
How do your days differ?
It's very varied. For example, I can be in management team meeting one day and then welcome fair the following day, setting up a stand and speaking to students all day, recruiting volunteers.
What has been the best bit of working for the SU?
What keeps me going, really, what makes me work, is the fact that it's such a positive thing for students to do. They get to make new friends, they learn new skills, they can apply their learning, they get to have a go at all sorts of different opportunities, which means it's fantastic for them.
What's the greatest challenge you have encountered this year so far?
It's been quite demanding in that at Welcome Fair, students are coming to us and saying, we want to get involved, which is absolutely fantastic, we love that. And it's a complete turnaround to what it was last year.
Going forward, what's the biggest challenge you face in the next academic year?
It's a difficult one to know the answer to on that front, because we're not really sure how that's going to affect our institution. So it could affect the Students' Union, particularly on a funding front, and it's kind of wait and see really.